The Ritz-Carlton Lake Oconee has everything you need for the perfect staycation. Wonderful lake views, tranquil spa, and beautiful landscape. If you're like me, you have an appreciation for all three, which is why I highly recommend you visit Lake Oconee Ritz-Carlton. I recently had a chance to visit this staycation. Not only was it less than an hour from my home in Atlanta, it was one of the best staycations I've experienced. What I loved the most about this resort was how convenient everything was. We had a lot of on-site dining, and speaking of dining, I had a chance to meet one of the chefs, Chef Z. I had a chance to converse with him and try some amazing Moroccan cuisine. I highly recommend you add this resort to your bucket list. It's located in Georgia, and it's a straight shot on 20. Hey guys, it's Erica of Eating with Erica, and I'm at the beautiful Reynolds Lake Oconee. I'm here with Chef Z, and we are going to be making a wonderful traditional Moroccan dish. I'm going to let Chef Z tell you a little bit more about it.
Hi Erica, excited to be here with you. Today we're going to be making a lamb tagine. Lamb tagine is a dish that is native to my home country, Morocco. And it takes the name out of the pot that is cooked in, and it's a clay pot that we're going to be using to make it.
Oh my God, this looks amazing. Okay, so tell me about, I know with this dish, spices are key. What spices are we going to be using today for this dish?
So we're going to be using two different shapes of spices. We're going to be using whole spices as well as grounded spices. We're going to be using some green cardamom, some cinnamon, some whole cumin seeds, some saffron, some ginger, some turmeric. And we're also going to be using some, it's not a spice, but it's work as an aromatic, some homemade preserved lemons, some bay leaves, some fresh cilantro. And it's just the harmony of those spices when they come together what makes this dish.
Oh my goodness, well, I can't wait. Can we get started making it?
Absolutely.
Let's get this party started.
Sounds good.
So I know you mentioned that you are from Morocco. What kind of memories does this dish bring to you? When would you make this dish?
So growing up in Morocco, you know, most of the time my mom did the cooking and all I did is watched. And, you know, the memories that stands out is that this dish, normally we make it when we have, you know, great company coming over. So the smell of this dish while it's cooking is the greatest memory that I have while we're playing. Then you smell it, and then from time to time I would peek into the kitchen to see what mom was doing. So that's the memory that really stands out.
Love it. Okay, so we're about to get this party started. How are we going to prepare this delicious dish?
So first thing is, you know, picking up your ingredients is very key. So you start with a good olive oil. That's very important for this. Also good spices, and you know, in talking about memories, those are some of the memories I had as a kid, is going with mom to the market to pick up those spices. You know, you walk into the shop and you see the different colors, the different textures, and you know that's something that is you know, stays with you as a kid that grew up in there. Yeah. So we're gonna start by searing our lamb in our tagine.
And where can we, people, because I'm not a chef, where could I find a tagine?
A tagine, you can buy it online, or if there is any Middle Eastern stores that around you, you might check with them. But definitely on Amazon, you can pick up one.
Love that.
This one specifically, I brought it with me from Morocco when I first moved to the States.
Wow.
And that was 13 years ago, yes.
Oh, it's held up to the test of time. And I've heard with these type of dishes, the more cooking you do on it, the better it gets. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's just like a clay pot. So basically, the more flavors, the more seasonings you throw in it, the more seasoned the pot becomes, and that's what they say. You gotta eat it from the tagine because that flavor stays in the tagine.
Yeah, I love that. Looking like a good sear.
The thing that I like about it is it's very natural. This is 100% clay, nothing else. It's just clay and water, two natural ingredients.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
So after that, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the cardamom pods, and I just want them to release the essential oils in the beginning, as well as our cinnamon sticks.
Love that. And I've noticed you didn't season the lamb before you put it on there.
Correct.
And why is that?
Well, because like I said, this is something that I grew up watching my mom do, and this is exactly how she did it.
Okay.
Now, traditionally in the restaurants, I would always season my meat before I sear it or I cook it. But for some reason, this is how I watch her do it, so I stay true to it, and this is how we're doing it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it, okay?
That's exactly
Family
right.
recipe.
So now we're gonna go with some onions that's been cut up, and this is yellow onions.
Okay. That smell, I can smell it already.
Some garlic. And the thing I like about cooking in tagine is that it's very forgiving. You don't have to tend to it most of the time.
I like that.
So you only need to start it, and as soon as you get to the point where you add the water, you can put it on low heat and basically enjoy your company, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends while it's cooking.
I like that. It's not something you have to keep your eye on the entire time.
No. It's the Moroccan crock pot, if you want to say.
I love the Moroccan crock pot.
So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of cumin seeds. And I'm not using any measuring spoons or anything because it's just a feel. You got I feel the spices, and spices will vary from one time of the year till the other time of the year, or also from the supplier that you guys are getting your spices from.
Oh,
so
okay.
When you buy a batch of cumin seeds, the first time you try it, then you know how strong that is. Then you adjust your use to it based on the next one.
I know you mentioned earlier, it's all in the hand.
That's right.
It's all in the hand. That's what the women say in Morocco. It's all in the hand.
That's right. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of ginger.
And I can already smell it cooking already. The spices.
It's the aromas of the spices that's been in direct heat with the heat that helps them release those aromatic and those essential oils. Turmeric. And then I'm going to go in with some saffron. It's one of my favorite spices to use.
And why is that?
Saffron is it's what I call a royal spice. It's a floral, gives you a nice floral flavor, color as well, and also for the health benefits of the saffron. So saffron grows. It's like the threads of a flower, and the amount of work that goes into picking those threads by hands. I have the most respect for the people that go in and do that. So that's why it's very special to me. So.
And what spice is that?
This is salt. It's a mixture of salt and pepper. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of water.
Now we're cooking. Now, typically, how long does it take to create this dish?
So from start to finish, I will say for a big piece like this, it will probably take about 3 hours to 3.5 hours cooking on low heat, and basically checking on it from like once in a while to add a little bit of water so it does not completely dry out.
And typically with this dish, do you serve it just by itself? Do you serve it with sides? How would you prepare? How are we going to enjoy this today?
So if you see a Moroccan table, you will see this dish as the main on the middle of the table, and then you see a bunch of side dishes that goes around. So basically, you don't just go one way and come back to the plates. That makes it a little bit boring to eat. So the little side dishes is that create that excitement that you eat a little bit of this, and then you always have something that is pickled, something that is like a fresh salad, something that is, a little bit spicy. So you have those different notes that you get with your dish. The main vessel that we use to carry this dish is bread. So we will be eating it with some bread today.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm going to put in some bay leaves, some fresh cilantro, and then some preserved lemons.
Talk about flavor.
So the preserved lemons I do here in-house, and it's something that I also learned from my mom. When the lemons are in season, she will get a bunch of lemons, and she will sit down in the middle of the house with my sister, and they'll see them cutting them up and stuffing them with salt, putting them in mason jars. And that's the lemons that we use throughout the whole year until the next season for the lemons. Yeah, preserved lemon is completely different than just fresh lemons. It adds totally different dimension to the dish that you're using in it.
And how do you preserve a lemon, if you don't mind me asking? I've never preserved anything.
It's really simple. It's literally cutting a lemon on 4, stuffing it with salt, putting them in a mason jar, putting a little bit of lemon juice on top of them, airtight container, and just leave them in room temperature.
For how long?
They can stay for years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can stay for years. So now our tagine is to the point where we're gonna just let it do its thing, and we're gonna close the lid on it, and we're gonna be checking on it from once in a while to add a little bit of water until the meat is nice and tender.
So as our lamb tagine is preparing, we're gonna show you what it looks like after, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Our dish is finally done, and it is the big reveal. Chef, will you do the honors?
Absolutely.
Oh, it's beautiful. It smells so good. So, Chef, how often do you make this dish?
Well, I used to make this dish every time I feel like I missed home. But recently, we started highlighting this dish here at the Creek Club at Reynolds, Lake Oconee, once a month. We do a feature, and it changes from 1 month to the other. So every month we do a different tagine, just to share those experiences that I grew up with our members here at the restaurant.
I love that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the dish? Is it the seasoning? Is it the finished? What's your favorite part throughout creating this dish?
Well, my favorite part is actually eating it. But which after, because it takes quite a while. It takes about, like I said, about 3.5 to 4 hours. So you're definitely hungry by the time it's done. So by the time you sit down and get to enjoy it, I think that's the best part.
Well, let's sit down and let's enjoy.
Absolutely. So we're gonna do a little bit of just like a final touches to it. So we always garnish this dish with some dry apricots and some dry fruits as well. So today I'm using some apricots that's been reconstituted in a little bit of sugar and some cinnamon. And then we're gonna also top it with some walnuts. And it's just the difference in it adds like the sweet and then the nuttiness from the nuts. It's complement the dish just perfect.
And based off the seasonings, I didn't realize having this dish, it was such a blend of sweet, savory, salty, and it's just a whirlwind of flavors that go into this one dish.
Yes. By the time you end up with it, it's a symphony that you would only experience it when you taste it.
My taste buds are already dancing.
Perfect.
Okay, well, we are about to go enjoy it.
Sounds good.
And now it's time to eat.
And like we talked before, as much spices that goes in it, like when you're eating, it's not like one spice that's standing out.
It's so smooth, and it's a great combination of flavors. Not one thing that stands out most, which is a good dish, because you don't want anything that's overpowering. It's not like the cinnamon's overpowering, or the saffron. Everything is, like you mentioned before, a symphony of flavors.
Right.
Smells so good.
So the bread is my latest hobby that I recently picked up back in January. So I started making sourdough bread. Just out of the blue, we started, why not?
I love it. So traditionally, if I was in Morocco, I would eat the dish with what type of bread?
It's a leavened bread. It's almost like sourdough bread that we actually use the sourdough starter in it. It's not as like risen and like the heights in it, but it's quite similar to sourdough bread. So that's why I tend to do that for you.
I love it. The flavor is amazing, and the bread is so good.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Well, you said something. What was the phrase? Baha? What is it?
So as we say back home, it's like cheers, and we'll say bisaha.
Basaha. Well, on that note, basaha.
Bisaha.